Hello everybody, this is Tytar Jr. So I'm going to be creating a video. It's a little bit different. So first off, I want to apologize for the quality being a little bit lower this time. My primary recording software is not working and I'm tight for time, so I'm using my backup recording software, but I'm going to get that figured out for the next video. So the quality is a little bit better and the sound quality is a little bit better. But for right now, we're just going to do it as is so that way I can get a video out. So this is going to be the start of me making a little shop. A shop that operates like it would in a Legend of Zelda game or something similar. And as you can see, this map is massive. And so I'm going to be creating a series called Let's Make a Game. It's going to be in the Warcraft Reforged editor. And we're going to make an entire game, and that's how I'm going to do my tutorials going forward. It's going to be a huge, massive game, kind of Legend of Zelda style, kind of play like that. I want it to be as far from the Warcraft 3 style as possible, but using the assets and engine, making a full-fledged game, which would be really, really cool. But for this video, it's just going to start off with the shop. I may not even finish it in this video, but I'm going to get started. And so the next video that comes out is going to be basically using this same template and creating a game from it, and that's when the series is going to start. But this one's just working on the beginnings of a shop, if you will. So this won't make it to the final cut, this part, but this concept I'm going to have saved somewhere in the map so that way I can copy and paste it for different parts of the game later, so that way we don't have to redo all of our work later. So here's what we're going to do. We're kind of doing some alpha testing, if you will, probably even earlier than alpha testing if this was a real project here. But we're going to, instead of making an entire town, I'm just going to very, very quickly decide a certain building is going to be a shop. Let's see, let's do cityscape. We need to decide which one's going to be our shop here. Let's just do this one. And as you can see, I haven't done any of the tiles yet. I don't want to do that quite yet because this is going to be the actual file I use. We're going to pretend this rock is the path. Oops. We're going to pretend this rock is the path and make sure this is on mute. So we're going to pretend this is the path, even though it's not how I would like to do it. Okay. And there we go. So what we're essentially trying to do here is I want the main character to enter this door, enter a store format, kind of like Legend of Zelda would be, and then kind of transport the main player to that area. So I'm creating a region so that way it procs something, and I'm going to move a little quickly. Hopefully these are helpful tutorials. At the same time, you guys can kind of see how I'm crafting this game I've always wanted to make. And I'll tell you guys more about that in the next video that I make. So this is not the main character I'm going to use, but I'm going to use him for now. We need the start location. And we're going to do a couple things. So we're going to delete this melee initialization. And I'm just going to call this one initialization. I think I spelled that right. And if you remember from previous videos, that basically means when the map loads, what do you want me to do? That's what this is asking here. So I'm going to make it so game, I'm just going to search it, set time of day. I'm going to set the time of day to noon, and we're going to turn that cycle off. So it sets it to noon and then turns the cycle off so it stays noon. That'll change later in the game, but for now that's what we're doing. And then I'm going to make it visible across the whole map. Set let's just do visibility. Let's see. Create visibility modifier region. Initially enabled for player 1, emitting visibility across playable map area. Okay. Now we have the very bare essentials to making it so we can run around and kind of do stuff without being too annoyed. And so now we're going to create our shop. And what I like to do, again, this won't be a final cut because I'm doing this kind of quickly. But what I will do, these are camera bounds, these lines, so your camera can't go angled past that. So what I'm going to do with a dirt cliff here, we're going to pretend we're inside a building. And I think I'm going to end up doing cityscape, so I might not even save this. I just wanted to practice here and have it on video. Might need to make that bigger, to be honest. Yeah, let's just make that a little bit bigger. And the reason you would want cityscape is because you can have the cityscape tile on the sides instead of rock, so it looks more like a structure when you're actually in there. So yeah, just keep that in mind. And so we're going to do a region here. That's where you enter and exit. And we're going to go to cityscape, and we're going to do some props. So we're going to make this look kind of like it's, you know, a shop or whatever. And let's do, I swear there's like a table or something. Maybe some trash on the sides. Let's see here. Maybe it's in dungeon. Let's do an angled bookshelf. Just make it look a little bit more lively. And again, if I had the cityscape flooring, it would look a lot better than this with the flooring and stuff, because having rocks on the floors and dirt walls, you know, I'm picturing more of like a city setting rather than this, but it'll do for this test. I just want to give the idea of what we're doing here. So table, there it is. I'm going to turn off the auto rotate and the random scale. That's what I did right here as I hit these two buttons here. And that table's way too small for what we're trying to do. So we're going to go to the unit editor, go to doodads. And I'm going to go to table. Table torture, of course not. Model file, let's see. Maximum scale. Let's do 5. Maybe that will be too big, but we'll see. And I'm going to do minimum scale of 5. So that didn't affect it. Let's see. Reason why. Dungeon and underground. Maybe I have to replace it. Yeah, 5 is way too big. Let's try that again. 3 and 3. Table. Still way too big. Okay. 2 and 2. How about that? That's more like it. I mean, it's a very big table, yes, but you'll see why I'm kind of going for this. So what I'm trying to do is have a person standing back here, and then 3 items, 1, 2, and 3, right on top of the table. So that's why I need it to be a little bit bigger. Okay, and so we'll have a shopkeeper, and we'll make him neutral passive for now. And just for testing purposes, we're going to go to items. And these aren't items that will be in the game. But my plan would be, yeah, see, that's good. So my plan would be having it more organized than this, obviously. Need to turn off collision on that table. Let's see. Placeable on cliffs, true. Placeable on water. Pathing. You gotta choose none, I believe. None. There. So now, because there's no pathing, we can put stuff right there. units. Delete those. And just so that way I know. Well, so what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to pick ones that have got different models than the other. So maybe what I'll do is the gold coin, and then the wood, and then I think there's like something else too. Let's just do this one. So we're going to go into items now. And power up, I believe. Yeah, so gold coins. Let's see. Right now I'm looking for something that can make it a little bit more elevated, if you will. So let's see, scaling value model. You know, I might have to do a little trick here. Let's get rid of the table for now, just for the video's purposes, and we'll just do that. I think that might be better. Okay, so now we need a trigger that basically teleports us over to our shop. So we're going to lock the camera, so that way it moves the camera over there when we walk in. Lock camera target for player 1 red, and we're going to lock it to the footman. And that's on initialization. And so enter shop 1. So we're going to make it so unit enters region, specific unit, unit enters region. Condition, and I believe we're going to do unit comparison. Yeah. So we're going to do unit comparison, and then entering unit equal to the footman. So basically it says when the unit enters this region, and if that entering unit is this footman, then we're going to unit, I believe it's unit move. Let's search it. Unit, move unit instantly. So we're going to move the entering unit. So basically when we choose entering unit, it's referring to the unit that entered, so we don't need to select footman. And that can be useful if we're focusing on a player 1 type of setting where maybe the unit changes and you have different characters and stuff like that. Move them instantly to center of region, and that region is there. And because the camera's locked, it's going to stay with him as he moves over there. So it's really, really good. And then we're going to do Control C, Control V, leave shop 1. And we're going to make it so when a unit enters this region, it's just going to be the reverse. Move them instantly to region 000. Okay? So that should work. And I think what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to make a region right here. So when the unit, the footman, enters here, we're going to have a new camera angle. I'm going to do this. That way it's like you're, you know, because this is, when you press view selected camera, it's going to look like this, like you're kind of buying from these 3 different options here. Okay. And so, look at items is what I'll call it. Unit enters region. And then we're going to do camera. And then we're going to apply camera object. And I want to apply it over 1.5 seconds. And since I'm the only unit that's going to be entering there, I can just leave it as is and not put conditions like if another unit enters. But if you have other characters, you're going to want to do that. Just specify which unit is entering. So then unit. So we're going to issue an order. So issue targeting a point. So what we're doing now is when this unit enters, this footman, you have to consider the player. So if the player's like, I'm going to right click right here, and they run, they enter this region, it changes camera angles, and all of a sudden your footman goes way over there, and it's super awkward to deal with. And so we're issuing an order the moment you enter to stop movement. It's just thinking ahead. Stuff like that is really going to make your game stand out. And players won't even notice it. That's the best part. It's like the best things you can do are things that oftentimes people won't even notice. We're going to, I believe there's a stop. Let's see. Yep, right here. So we're going to order footman to stop. Okay. And then we're going to do stop looking at items. So when he leaves, or you right click out of the region, this is not very elegant right now. I'd make it better than this later, but for now it'll work. So when he leaves, a unit leaves region 002, then we're going to, actually I need to make one more camera. So Control-Shift-C sets the camera to what it was set at when the game loaded, or the default camera. I'm creating camera 002 as the default. And so we're going to do camera, apply camera object timed to camera 002, 1.5 seconds, so it's going back to normal view. And then we're going to wait 1.5 seconds so that way the pan can finish. And then we're going to lock the camera to the footman. Let's just do, yeah, let's do that. Perfect. So let's just take a look and see what this looks like so far. We haven't done the buying or the item stuff yet. Let's take a look and just see. I might need to log in once the game loads up and stuff.
What do you need?
So, as you can see,
Aye, my lord.
And I'm going to go into this shop.
On my way.
Okay, we entered an endless loop. It's one thing I didn't consider. So what we need to fix that is we need to make this initially on, but turn it off. And then we flip it. So once we do this one, we are going to wait 1 second. And then we're going to do trigger, turn on, leave shop 1, but then we're going to turn off, enter shop 1. And why are we doing this? Because it entered an endless loop. So when we entered shop 1, it sent us here, but then the game said, oh, you've entered this region, so I'm going to teleport you back and forth because you keep entering the region over and over. So that's essentially what happened. So we turned off enter shop 1. Let's copy both of these, but do the reverse. Turn on, enter shop 1, turn off, leave shop 1. Okay, let's try it again. Okay, almost.
What do you need?
Let's try out the shop this
Aye,
time.
my lord.
Perfect, look at that.
On my
Okay,
way.
charmed. Hey, look, there's items right here. And would you look at that? Look how beautiful that is. Now, like I said, it's not very elegant to get out of here.
Right.
But let's see how it works. And would you look at that?
Of
I
course.
mean, it's not perfect, but it's decent. See,
Aye,
I
my
didn't lock
lord.
the camera, so there's some little bugs that you
Right.
gotta work out, but hey, you know what?
On my
That's pretty
way.
decent for a first shot. We're
Of
gonna exit
course.
now. And
Aye,
there's
my
one little
lord.
glitch there, so it's sending me back to
On my way.
this region when I exit. But you get the idea. So I'll correct that real fast. That's what I'll do first. So when I do leave shop, move entering unit instantly. Let's see. Oh, I didn't do the wait 1 second. That is our issue. There, that should correct it. Okay. So now what I want to do is I want to make it so if the player selects one of these, it kind of like highlights them a little bit, like the item. That's what I want my shop setup to be in the game that I'm making. So I'm going to create a separate trigger here. Light up items. So let's see if there's an item one. If there's not, then I can do unit. Maybe unit would work. And if this doesn't work, then I could figure something out, I'm sure, just not during this playthrough. So player selection event, I like that. Selects a unit. And then I'm gonna do, let's see. Might need to do units that are disguised as items to make this work, but unless I wanted to get really technical. Let's just see. You never know. So we need to find. Could have sworn it was in here. Unit comparison. Maybe it's Boolean. Maybe it's player. I want to just, what I'm trying to get is selected unit is equivalent to, let's see if we can figure this out. It could be item comparison, it could be Boolean. Item is owned. Maybe there's something in events I can choose that might be a little different. Player, mouse event. Mouse up, mouse down, mouse move. Selection event. Event response triggering unit. Okay, I guess it's just triggering unit. Triggering unit is an item, if that's an option here. Nope. Let's see. Item comparison. I don't think that's going to work for what I'm wanting to do. If they were units, I could probably do it. And there might be a technical way to make them light up. Basically what I wanted was when I select it, it lights up in color, which I think would be really, really cool. I mean, we could do that for example purposes really, really fast. Let's just go ahead and do it. So I want to make the night model file, and go to items, gold coins, the rifleman, we're going to do the logs, then the mortar team, it's a penguin. Okay, and then we'll get rid of these for now, and then when it'll just be a simple eye trick, because then the player thinks they're buying this item because it's disguised as such, and they click it, and our custom trigger basically drops that item into their inventory, but they won't know that these are actually units, so that way the trigger works. Let's make sure that these are all neutral hostile so they don't start running around. Neutral passive, I mean. Okay, and so we're going to go back to selection event, condition. Let's just do selects a unit just for now because I'm being quick and I can clean it up later when I'm making the more legitimate version. So I believe there's an option here. I can't remember what it's called. I think it's in animation. Color, change units, vertex coloring. Yeah. So I'm going to do triggering unit because that's what it said to do. Vertex coloring. I wonder if I can I go hot? No, it's 100% for each. So maybe what I can do is do like maybe like a yellowish highlight, which is a combination of red and green. 50%. So what's going to happen is it's probably going to highlight the footmen and stuff like that, but I mean, we're just testing it for the item's sake here. Yeah, and then when we look at the items, we also need to deselect our footmen. So select, clear selection for player 1 red. Okay. So light up items. You know, I actually have a solution for this. We're going to keep this off. It's not initially on. And then when look at items comes on, then we can turn on trigger, turn on, light up items. There we go. And eventually we'll have to put triggers in like, oh, if something else gets selected, it doesn't work, or only units in this region that I don't have existing yet works, something to that effect. So let's just go ahead and test it now. I think that'd be pretty cool. Okay.
What do you need?
Shop, and we're going to
Aye,
scan
my lord.
and browse the items they have available.
On my way.
There we go. Looking pretty good. So let's select the penguin first. So it doesn't look like it's really lighting up, so we probably want to adjust that color a little bit. And we also want to make it so when we deselect it, it goes back to normal because now we just got this yellow hue thing. I actually had an idea while that was loading. So let's go ahead and do one last thing here. I think what we can do is have these things be dark by default. So we'll have them each at 100, which basically makes them look darker. When you have all the values lower, it actually makes it darker. And then when you select it, we can have it light up to its normal color. So it'll look a lot more like it's lighting up. It's an illusion. So let's look at items, light up items. Let's see if I can do, because vertex coloring is a percentage. I don't want to do, most things default to 100%. See, that might be a problem, is that it's a percent. We'll just see. We'll just see. And we could always make it so they're kind of transparent, but they become fully visible. Yeah, maybe we'll do that. In here, we're going to do in initialization, so it loads like this. Vertex coloring, we're going to switch this guy to 50% transparent, so he's halfway see-through. Okay. And then when the items light up, we do 0% transparency. And then, let's see, zoom low lighting items. And then we'll have selection event deselects a unit. And in that case, we will do vertex triggering unit, because it's the triggering unit. Set it back to 50. And I believe what we did is roughly like 50% across the board, something like that. So when we go to look at items, we got to turn on the resume low lighting trigger. And when we stop looking at items, we have to turn those triggers off again. Trigger, turn off, light up items, and then resume low lighting items. Okay. Let's give that a test. That'll be interesting to see if it worked. Okay.
What do you need?
Let's go and give it a test run.
Aye, my lord. On my way.
Okay. So here we are at the. That looks pretty good. I think that's pretty good. Let's see what happens when I select the penguin. Okay, that's pretty cool. Hey, look at that! It deselects. So it's almost like we're going through a selection here, which is pretty neat. I'm pretty impressed with this trigger so far. And we can take it one step further, which is exciting.
Yes, my liege.
Let's get out of there.
Right.
Awesome.
Of course.
Hey, this is looking pretty good. So let's go back. And we're going to do one last thing here. Without the actual buying of the item and stuff like that, I just want to do all visual stuff right now. So when we do light up items, I really like the idea of having some text up here above their head. So let's do penguin, and then we will duplicate this. So we're not going to have any event. We're actually just going to run the trigger. Actually, I could just do a selection event. Yeah, let's just do a selection event. So player selects a unit, and let's do condition, unit comparison. Triggering unit is the selected one, and let's say it was the mortar team, aka the penguin. And we're going to create floating text. Floating text above unit. Penguin. And then 200 gold. And let's do yellow for this, for the gold part. Yellow. Apply color. Very cool. Above. Now, this is not an ideal way to do things, because you could, change the value of an item later in the game and forget that you have this code in here. I'm sure there's a way that we can do concentrate strings or concatenate strings and basically, grab the actual value of the item's worth. But for now, we're just doing this just to show you for example purposes. And then, so penguin deselect. And then we'll do a player selection event deselects a unit. And then we'll just copy that so we don't have to go and find all that again. And then we will do, I believe it's floating text destroy, last created floating text, so that will get destroyed. So, because I just created that. Okay? And so now we're going to do coin and do the exact same thing. And then we're going to do coin is worth 50 gold. Doesn't really make sense, but okay. And we're going to do it above the knight, aka the coin. And then we're going to do coin deselect. Triggering unit equals to that. I believe this should work without any problems. There might be like some loophole that I might not see yet. Lumber. Okay. Lumber. And then we'll do 25 gold for this one. 25 gold. Okay, and then we'll do lumber deselect. Lumber deselect. Okay. Destroy. So I'm assuming that I don't have any weird loopholes that I haven't foreseen. There probably is one. But let's test it. This will be my final test before this video ends. I just wanted to show you guys how you can create kind of a shop menu system like this. Can you imagine the amount of power you could have making a custom game using something like this? And then we haven't even touched on the fact that you can make it have like acquire in the inventory and stuff like that. We haven't even incorporated a clean exit from the shop thing. This is just very, very quickly thrown together. As you guys can see, I know this video is kind of long, but in terms of
What do you need?
how much thought we're putting into
Aye,
it,
my
it's
lord.
not a whole lot. So
On my way.
There we go. And I didn't intend for this footman to go invisible, but it's actually kind of nice. I kind of like that that was a mistake that happened with this. So let's see if it works. Look at that. Look at that. So selected the wrong guy for that. That's okay. But it does say lumber 25 gold. It's just displaying over the coin. Coin 50 gold. You get the idea. But look how cool that is. And I'm sure you can align it center and stuff like that. But Like, that's got some power. You can create some really cool things in World Editor with something like this, and assuming pretending lumber popped up there. But that's got some power to it. Don't underestimate that. You can do really cool things with your game.
Yes, my
for
liege.
that. And we're going back.
Right. Of
And
course.
we go back to our game. We're back on our adventure.
Aye,
So I
my
hope you
lord.
guys like this video. Be sure to subscribe because I'm going to take this template and put it into my own personal game, and I'm going to create a series of Warcraft 3 Reforged videos that basically cover the creation of the game I've always wanted to make. I got really, really far when I was younger, but there's a lot of things that I didn't know quite yet, and I know them now. And I can make the game really, really good. And as I update the game, I'm going to release each version. So each video will have an updated version that you guys can download and actually look into what it is I have in there. So you guys can apply similar things to your map. I hope you guys don't plagiarize the map. That's certainly not what I'm uploading it for. But rather, I want you guys to at least be able to take the template and learn from what it is I'm doing here.
Right.
That way you guys can make awesome games yourselves.
Of
So
course.
please subscribe because there's some great content
On
up
my
ahead
way.
with Warcraft 3 Reforged.
Of course.
And I will see you guys next time.